Hey everybody, welcome back to X's for Show. We are here to talk about Drag Race Canada's premiere. We're going to talk about Drag Race UK later on. Stick around. But for us, I'm Nico.
I'm TK.
That makes me Tori.
Hey, it's Jonah.
And I'm your producer, KEVO. You can find me at KEVO Really. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment to our channel so we know what you want us to cover in the future. I'm excited to talk UK later in the broadcast, but I'm super stoked for this new domestic season of Canada.
Yay!
Right off the bat, I want to say that I loved the Meet the Queens, but the Meet the Queens did not do these queens justice. The realness Van Gogh brought, beautiful. The fact that it seems like VJ really is just kind of capturing the magic of early Gaga so hard. I don't know. This is a batch of badass bitches. Like, I'm actually like, I was already so in, but like I am now in the driver's seat, not the passenger seat. Guys, I'm your Uber for tonight.
I feel like now comparatively, I don't think I was all in. I thought I was like, okay, this looks fun when we watch the Meet the Queens. I completely agree. Meet the Queens, I think, failed these people because the first 15 minutes of the show was kind of the most excited I've been about a group of queens in forever.
Yes.
And for one thing, if you told me like you just randomly have to design a harem of men and one woman, this would probably be the group. This is the most insanely beautiful group of people I have ever seen in my entire life. I'm in love with every single one of them, even the ones I don't like. I'm weirdly in love with. But just like I remember our Meet the Queens coverage, and I felt like I was like, yeah, okay, this looks like a great group, but there was never a moment in the intro where I wasn't like, oh, this is exciting. Oh, this person's cool. That looks amazing. Their interaction's really cool. I was just excited all the way through. And then I was like, well, the Meet the Queens kind of screwed them because I had like a lot of critiques during the Meet the Queens. And if they'd just shown me this, I would have been like, this is the most excited I've been about Drag Race in like a decade.
Wow.
How about you, Tori? Tori, is this your first live Canada, or am I literally just that out of sync with Canada?
No, I think I did Live Canada last time. You did Live Canada for 5. Yeah. Okay. We did Live Canada for 5. I'm so excited for this group. I think people that in Meet the Queens, I was like, I don't know enough. I haven't connected yet. I felt so astonished by this time around. I haven't seen season 4 of Canada, but it seems like this keeping of including the entrance look in the judging of the first episode was kept over from the last time when we did like 3 sets of Thorns and Roses, and it was so fun. And I think it really showcases like what the gals are capable of. I think they all came in super branded really well. I think maybe they knew that what the first runway would be because there were too many like synchronicities between like what they walked in and what they were referencing on their first runway. I was just so blown away, so excited. And I think what really set the excitement bar for me was watching the girls get excited and the girls get scared. That really set like the tone for me of what to expect from this.
Great points just across the board. Love that. Jonah, talk to me. I mean, you were there for the birth of my love of gratitude, and so like Canada holds a very special place in my deranged heart. So,
oh, Tori, I can't wait for you to get to that. That
4 is the best.
Yeah, it's coming.
I'm not joking. That moment from season 4 deserves to be in the Modern Museum of Art.
Yeah.
It is genuinely picture perfect of everything that's going on there. But my love of season 4 is incomparable to my love for the start of season 6. My goodness, please give it up for all of these beautiful divas, dolls, and everybody else, because this is how you start a season. This was one of the best premieres for a series I have ever seen. I have not been so excited, so captured, and like so smitten with every single one of these performers that I don't want anybody to go home. No, please don't send anybody home. I want them all to be there forever. I am like so impressed. And like you said, Tori, what I think made this feel so real was people talking, and it feels like this season feels stacked. It feels like we had like Canada was saving heavy hitters for this. I don't know what it is about the number 6, but like US 6, UK 6, and I'm really hoping Canada 6 continues the trend of like it being one of the best seasons ever for a show. Point blank, bar none, period. So
and Down Under is hoping to hit 6.
Ooh.
Well, we'll count Down Under vs. the World for them so they can get to 6. Hopefully they get a second one of those. I know that they're currently filming that, so good luck to everybody on that one. But no, I have like genuinely almost 0 notes. I cannot sing my praises enough of like how impressed I was this episode.
Kevo, the last time we enjoyed a pilot with this many girls wrapped up in plastic, it was a very different mystery as to who's gonna be the one. How are you feeling about these girls and their Twin Peaks?
Oh, and so near to Canada too. Yeah, no, this was a really super exciting premiere. I love the sheer diversity of talent and contestant that we've gotten here. Great seeing Lemon back. I loved that silhouette that I gave TK for the background because it looks like she's Batman with the yellow maple leaf. Fantastic. And, you know, I also really agree with what he said in terms of not exactly what I was expecting based on the Meet the Queens. I feel like so many of these girls are so different from those little snippets we got. You know, we did note that it was very short, so each girl got very little time, so I'm sure that's even part of it. But like Sammy, for one, completely different on this show than she was in the Meet the Queens. So, you know, that's been really exciting. I'm almost glad because then they didn't give away too much in that. So that's really cool that there was still so much that we were able to get fresh in this premiere.
And I want to add that, you know, I love that you already brought up my precious rapstress because like Michelle Branch said, use me for what I'm good for. And like having Lemon out here just being literally the definition of success and talent and charisma. And then having, I have said it a few times, growing up, my best friend was a ballet dancer. So ballet and dance was a big part of my growing up experience. I've seen hundreds of dance shows as a result, and I feel very lucky for that. Brooke Lynn Hytes is one of the best dancers I have ever seen live in my life. I mean, like, seeing her last Christmas was one of the most unbelievable. I mean, her line work, her extensions, it's unbelievable. Seeing Lemon come in and rap, seeing Brooklyn come in and dance, seeing Paula Abdul choreograph. This was
seeing
like
Brad disappear.
Yeah. And congratulations, Jade. Congratulations, Carson. Congratulations, Serene. So excited for all of the amazing talent. But like, I just thought this was a celebration of everybody being good at what they did and getting flowers for it. This was just unbelievable. It was so smart.
The only thing I want to say, because you brought up Brooklyn dancing, and I'm jumping us all the way to the end.
Do you want to put it in your mouth so I can see you say it?
It did feel a little bit. Right now, Van Gogh is in my top favorites of all time.
Of all time. What a turnaround for me.
I mean, well, and not even so much a turnaround for me, because I said, like, when she said, you either love me or you hate me, at first I was like, I hate you. And by the end of the Meet the Queens, she really stood out to me. I was like, oh no, I love her. And I love that that's her attitude, because you can turn around. So going into it, she was one of few who I was like, I know I'm very enthusiastic about her. And I felt really enthusiastic all the way through. She technically wasn't my top for who had the best verse, who was the winner for the verse. And I thought her looks were amazing, but basically, long and short of it, I love her and she was absolutely in my top 3. I'm not sure I would have given her the win, except for I feel like there was maybe a feeling of certain people would upstage Brooklyn and would really try and do like a lot of stunts. And both for professional reasons and like time on the scene, but also just what I can tell her drag and her performance is like, they were not concerned with Van Gogh doing anything that was going to like
totally different borough.
Yeah, precisely. Perfect way to put it. Exactly. I know Canada doesn't have those, but that's okay.
They have
and so I sort of wondered about that as how we got to this stage, which really felt like, Brooklyn, if you want to do a number, you can just do a number and then we'll do the lip sync. I'll watch. I'm happy to watch that. But let's let our girls girl.
And just the pointing to her mouth, like pulling the full Coco.
Yeah.
That was like such a beautiful kickback to such a beautiful moment. And like, I did maybe think that Velma had the better verse. I'm a singer boy, and so like I want a vocal. I do not want everybody giving me what we tell Kesha she can't get away with anymore. Like, also, God, Brooke Lynn looked like nobody's business this episode. I can't even believe what episode
she
this
always
was.
does. She's the most beautiful woman alive. It's insane.
I'm going to talk about this episode too much if people don't take over. Somebody hit me with how you felt about the verses. I'm giving it up to VJ because she sang so hard. So pleased. Hit me.
Right off the bat, I want to give almost everybody, and really everybody, a lot of credit for doing better than standard Drag Race verses.
Yes.
The thing I'm always looking for is if you can figure out how to talk about yourself like Cardi B or Lil Kim or anybody who they talk about themselves, but they're not on Drag Race, so they never say anything about snatching the crown or coming for anything. They literally will just sort of talk a game about themselves. And I wish more Drag Race girls would do that without talking about Drag Race. A bunch of girls did that here. So that's always my second favorite, to not talking about Drag Race at all and just having a verse. And the two people who were fantastic for that were Velma and Saltina. Saltina right off the bat blew my mind because I had difficult opinions about Saltina from Meet the Queens, but she blew me away this episode too. And the big thing for me was her verse was just the verse of a song, having nothing to do with Drag Race. And that's my favorite thing ever. But a lot of other girls, even if they did talk about themselves and even if they did talk about being on Drag Race, did it quickly, subtly, and mostly it was just about them. And not in, again, it's like, it has to be different than autobiographical. It has to be, you have to take from the greats of rap and figure out how to talk about yourself, but not say like, I'm from here and I do this.
A little girl from Rooster Projects.
Yeah, well,
you said the greats of rap.
So I just over and over again, I was really, really impressed with everybody's verses, but the three that stood out for me were Velma, Saltina, and Van Gogh.
Jonah, you had mentioned that Dulce had an amazing entrance line. So
yes,
there were just great lines all over this episode.
Yes, Dulce's entrance line, I think is up in contender for one of the funniest. In Spanish, she said, "I didn't prepare an entrance line, but if I say it in Spanish, I don't think these bitches will notice." And it's just so funny.
She killed.
And I feel bad because Sammy's wasn't translated, but specifically the idea of her just saying, speaking French, and then okay, it's just very funny. it's very stupid. But like in a way, that's also on brand for this queen. I love her. I'm like I said, I'm smitten with everybody. For performance, I mean, I'm gonna be a Lemon fanboy and say Lemon won the challenge.
Yes.
Because I think back to season 1 and Lemon saying I'm a straight up raptress, and Jeffrey Boy Chapman being like, "Are you, girl?" And Lemon consistently proving no, Lemon's an amazing rapper, and it's insane. For me, my money, I think of everything, especially with this challenge. I love that Canada does include the entrance look as part of the challenge. It's entrance look, challenge, runway look. And I think for me, overall, as a full stardom package, I understand why Van Gogh won, because I'm so in love with Van Gogh's aesthetic. And I'm not even saying that because she said that she was Team Jonah. I genuinely love her aesthetic so much. It's like insane to me. I love it. And so, everything about what she was able to deliver for this episode, for me, in my mind, makes it work. I think individually, I have to give it to Velma. I thought Velma absolutely kind of crushed it. And had Velma's runway look been slightly tweaked a little bit better, because I do agree, while I love the giant hat, it did cover up her gorgeous makeup work, and it made it a little hard. Like, she was struggling to keep it up. And I think if maybe there's a way to work around it aerodynamically to see everything, she probably would have won this week. but I have to like give it up to like everybody. Everybody did so well. I didn't think I would enjoy this song as much as I did last season's, but I really enjoyed last season because I just like Brooke going, go off. I did kind of miss that a little. I needed like a good little vocal stem earworm for my money. But if I see with my money, I'm tipping all these girls all the money because I cannot gush more about how much I enjoyed everybody. But for me, I really understood why in my brain, the top two would have been Van Gogh and Velma.
You know, speaking of looks that need tipping, Tori, weigh in. I gotta know your look number one. Girl, I'm just gonna be tossing you 20s. You're just gonna be seeing Jacksons. Ain't nobody got time for singles. But
she's feeling herself today. I really enjoyed this. I think there were so many people who did so well in the music video, which I enjoyed better once I had been walked through the queens themselves. I had watched it previously and found it very long. It was very long. Everyone kind of has like when we've been used to the American Drag Race verses, which are much shorter, it feels more like 8 bars, and this feels like the girls got a full 16.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a little like, oh, it's all 12, all in the same song. Okay. And so like I kept like getting halfway through each verse and then sort of tuning out. But then when I watched it this time, I was like, oh, I'm like in a little more invested. I know who each of these girls are. I can see why they're bringing these particular things. The writing on these was really incredible. I was really impressed with the actual lyrics that were going on. And I think a lot of the performances were really good. I like that they had 4 different sets for these gals.
Yeah.
And they were all very like minimal but exciting and visually stimulating. So I think this was really a home run across the board.
I love that. KEVO, I just want to say, I know between you and Jonah, you guys get all the screenshots. Great selections of images, really beautiful work. I love that we're able to see all of these amazing sets. Tori, thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. And you know, I think a word that Tori said that definitely caught my ear was long. Yeah, not like painfully as sometimes it can be, but it's really funny when they do challenges like this first. And when they got to this first set of 4 girls, I was like, oh no, we're gonna have to do this that many more times. Yeah. And it was a really fun and engaging song. Everyone did get to show off their talent, and it was really cool that they took such a bold approach. This is a really hard thing to do, and especially for a first episode. So I really liked that. They really kept it engaging. But yeah, it was so many girls.
And also, I just this little group part here. None of the girls looked confident during it in the group sections. None of them. God, the editing was so like it would blink on Van Gogh and move along, and I'm just like, none of these girls are confident in this one. Some of them are smiling. None of it is happy.
Because when you're doing your part of the music video by yourself, it's basically the same as a photo shoot. It's just instead of photos, the whole thing is the video. So like you're on your own, you're showing your own energy. But when you come together as a group, that's a whole different thing.
Yes. And I was very surprised we didn't get more of the like trying to learn the dance together thing.
Well, and there might be a story behind that because if everybody's looking so unconfident, it's entirely possible that for whatever reason it was really rushed. And because they never talked about it. Nobody, when the judges critiqued everybody, nobody said you were a little unconfident in that section. They just kind of had it in there.
So I just want to take a second and just throw out all of the names of these amazing queens, just so everybody hears their name when they watch. Hey, girls. We had Dulce, we had Ebony LaBelle, Hazel, Cara Milk, Maya, I almost said Maya Baby Doll Fox, gotta go. Maya Fox, Paulo Perfection, PM, Saltina Shaker, Sammy Landry, Star Doll, Van Gogh, and Velma Jones. I just want to put out there that every one of these girls is bringing like every one of these girls is like an Amazon driver with the package they're bringing. It is like the highlight of my day, seeing it come down my street. These girls are surprising me with and it's something that, not to spoil anything, but Jonah shared that they put out a casting announcement for 19, and it mentions that they're looking for girls of all talent types. And I'm telling you right now, this is girls of all talent types. Mm-hmm. This is girls that know how to represent a broad swathe of unbelievable ability, unbelievable ingenuity. Nobody is coming in the same pattern. Like, again, we're going to get to it later, but as much as I enjoyed this season of UK, so many of the girls just wore the same bikini cut or wore the same hourglass.
In that regard, then, shout out to casting and choices made in casting. That was taken so into consideration. It takes the applicants applying, but it's also, the person who's in charge of that not picking a homogenized look. And I'm really glad that they went with such diverse queens.
I also super duper agree with Wolf Howell that Sultina looks like a member of Anthrax out of drag, the crush I had on Scott Ian. Oh my God. But also I want to just put out there that in drag, Van Gogh looks like she's ready to take any opening in the band Kiss. So just really, oh my God, Morgan McMichaels, what's happened? You're so trashique. Guys, I am just really, I love that we're all so positive right now, because it's so rare that there's an episode that brings something so engaging, so warm. I loved how many of the girls are willing to put out there that they've got either phenomenal drag family credits to their name or have their own credits, but they're not resting on it. Not one girl up there said, I'm the best dancer, so you better hope I don't dance, and then gave nothing. Every girl who said I'm a great dancer danced. Every girl who said I'm a great designer showed it. There was so much charisma in this episode. I'm excited to get to the talent. I'm excited I've already seen the uniqueness. To be here, you got to have the nerve, but like the charisma of this episode was off the charts.
Yeah, and their charisma with each other was really great too. I think last season especially, we noticed that the girls were having like a very a lot of beautiful moments. Like they were a cast of sisters, and like they were doing a lot of loving and healing on set, and it was very beautiful to watch. Not the same energy here, and not a bad thing. Great energy and interactions among them. That you can tell there's a lot of love, and they will have fun and I'm going to get to this in a second.
Oh my God.
You can tell that there will be friendships and love and great stuff. But like a big part of the episode was the conflict between Van Gogh and Dulce, and was like, I love a conflict that ends with, we're probably just never going to like each other. Like that is to me so much more real than, putting a nice cap on it or screaming at each other. Like the fact that they just argued and were like, yeah, we're probably just not going to like each other, and moved on. Again, to me, that's great chemistry. That's great on-screen stuff to watch. They're a great group. The way they bounce off each other is fantastic. It's just going to be a blast to watch.
Now, Jonah, I would love to get how you're feeling about, I guess, what I can only say is a return to form, because like you brought it up with season 6. One of the things that I love about season 6 is when you think about the talent in season 6, it's the original. It's Bianca, it's Adore, it's girls that are not the same. And I'm making this joke, but season 15 literally had twins. So like, we literally kind of gave up uniqueness and said, let's get a really homogenized vibe. And I really love that you brought up that this was so different. How does it feel feeling like it's a broad quality of girls? Oh, try again for me, because right now your quality is super silent.
It was. I love this season because I feel like there's a girl for whatever kind of drag you love and you resonate with. There's a girl for you on this cast. There is such a wide breadth of drag styles, drag artistry, drag presentation, that there's someone for you there's someone to see yourself in and who you relate to and who you resonate with, I think, on this entire cast. I am like, it is so kind of amazing how well Canada does diversity and how well Canada's always been that girl when it comes to showcasing and highlighting different queens and the ability to showcase what that drag isn't just, and there is no shade in this, that drag isn't just pageantry, which is what a lot of Drag Race was rooted in, was pageantry. For a little while, Drag Race was just pageant. And there's nothing wrong with that. Pageants are great. We've had beautiful, amazing pageant winners. And I love a gorgeous, put together pageant queen who knows how to get down and be silly. But I always appreciated that Canada has been that girl of highlighting and showcasing the different types of drag. And this season is truly no different. I want to talk about the queen who's like, I want to be her friend. This is my parasocial queen that I want to be her friend and maybe to adopt me. I'm not sure yet. Ebony LaBelle truly is like, I don't know, incredible. She's 23 and I'm like, she feels so much wiser than I will ever be. I can I look up to her? I think
full mother realness.
I know. I also love TK that you brought up, like, you know, the biggest meat of this episode was the fight between Dulce and Van Goth. And what I love about this is, one, I was right because Van Goth is starting stuff already and I live, and two, it was over the most beautiful drag queen stuff, which is a petty comment. Someone made a comment years ago and neither one of them has let it go, and I love that. That's what I need. It is silly, it is small potatoes, but they're making it the entire meal, and that's the kind of fights and drama I love, because it's nothing. It truly is nothing, but it's everything.
Well, and one of the things that's so crazy is that allowed us not to focus on things like, one of the things that I kind of don't like that has maybe taken over a few seasons lately is like the girls pointing at the weird girl and being like, you're weird. I don't love that. You're all supposed to be artists expressing artistry. You should embrace the weird. And PM got to say, I feel seen in a positive way instead of at home where people laugh at me. First of all, she comes out here looking like a St. Patrick's Day Valdo from Soul Calibur 2. Number one.
Oh, I would have gone with an even gayer Tingle.
Oh, fuck off. That's brilliant.
Great reference.
And there was such a funniness to, like, let's get petty so that we don't have to be petty. Like, it was really cool, really fun, you know. And the thing that I really appreciated that I didn't hear, I feel like we've come a really long way from Victoria Scone. I feel like we're no longer in a place where we're really uncomfortable about having women in the cast, outwardly at least. Tori, I certainly don't mean to single you out, but I do know that you can speak to the experience of occupying overwhelmingly loud gay male spaces as a member of the queer community who does not necessarily look like me and Van Gogh. So I would love, how does it feel for you seeing this honest, what an unbelievable talent in my eyes. How does it feel seeing that transformation across this spectrum?
It's so exciting. I know we talk a lot about Victoria Scone. I know I think Pandora Knox out of Germany is also a bio queen, which is very exciting. She won. So I think we're moving past certain things. I think it's very exciting to have Velma Jones having a secondary a drag king persona as well. But I mostly just what I'm excited about is no one let Manila Luzon walk with a bloody tampon dress, and the fact that Velma gets to so wonderfully showcase the lovely tampons and the ridiculousness of blue water in a tampon commercial is just so perfect and so wonderful, and a point of view that we are desperately missing. And this time it doesn't come with the caveat of I'm representing something that's important to my fans and to people I love, but something that is important to me myself. And so I am so amped to see that done, as well as to see it done so well, so beautifully.
And I want to even add to that a step further. Something where Dragula is outpacing Drag Race is inhumane torture. Wait, no. Something where Dragula is outpacing Drag Race is we have
in
drag
disqualifications in one season.
So I'm obsessed with Landon Sider, drag king that stole my heart. Also Sigourney Beaver is a bio queen. And so I am so grateful that we see them there. Jonah actually introduced us to a show this weekend, Gastronauts on Dropout.
Yeah.
We got to see Jujubee. No, I'm sorry, Kimchi. I have Jujubee on the brain for another reason. We'll get to that later.
And also a food.
Also a food that we have Kimchi, we have Landon Cider, and we have I can do this. Meatball. And we got to see them Meatball. We got to see them and got to see them do something different. It's sort of how I felt about Jujubee, Ginger Minj, and Saphira getting to do Hocus Pocus. This idea that we're not just seeing the girls operate in exactly the lane Drag Race puts them in, but there's a transformative property to seeing these girls move into a different category. A scripted show beginning to end is not something a lot of the Drag Race girls get to do a lot. And sometimes they do, and then they're suddenly replaced with one of Widow Von Du's drag family. And so I think that it's just worth noting that when you give the girls an opportunity to shine, whether it's the three girls on, I'm going to say it wrong this time, Gastronauts, or it's the girls getting to do the Hocus Pocus tour, there is a value to giving these girls a chance to do something different. And I love that it's a girl from Dragula who is a drag king, setting the stage in a really special way. And thank you guys for just giving me a minute to be freaked out about how much I love Landon Cider.
It's all good.
I'm just excited you decided to drag your ass over to Dropout. I've been banging this drum for 6 months.
I know, and it's Jonah's been dragging it for 5 years.
I know,
so
it's probably longer.
I'm such a sleepy little man, and I take my time to get places, but when I get there, I jump in full force.
Yeah. We had 74 episodes of Ghosts to catch up on, and we did that in 9 days, so it happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I do want to take one more minute just on Canada, just to kind of say that the other thing that was really great this episode for me was the judging felt so alive and so fresh. I am so not committed to the identity of the judging of the UK judges that are the same as the US judges. Like there's such a voluminous disconnect between what they say on US and what they say on UK. I don't feel like, even though they're the same fucking people, they're the same people. Like, and I didn't realize that there's a geographic rule on talent where you get to say it differently when you're somewhere else. And Hollywood Jade, what an incredible first episode as a regular judge. Thank you so much for just proving excellence. Again, Brooke Lynn, one of my absolute favorite dancers I've ever seen, and just what an amazing performance. Tracy clearly still having the time of her life. And I've watched several seasons of Paula Abdul judge people and maybe feel like this was more coherent than all of those seasons combined. And for those of you who do know, my cabaret set does include a cover of Rush Rush. And so like my relationship with Paula Abdul is kind of special. I do believe that her video for Rush Rush with Keanu Reeves in the James Dean role from Rebel Without a Cause is like literally one of the greatest pieces of music video art ever made in history. Ooh. And so
this from a woman who gave us Dancing and Rapping with a Cat.
Oh my God. I have a story to tell you about that later.
I just learned they reunited for that awful Chippendale movie from a few years ago. So it did some things right.
And just she actually was a choreographer for years. So, you know, just getting to see her do this was so cool.
But she was never in a plane crash, and we all need to just admit that that was the case. Sorry, but let's just be real about that. Her facelift looks incredible. Like, truly, she looks so good. I am so stoked to see her. And yeah, you're right. Like, American Idol, it got to a lot of points where like it was a consistent thing that people were not saying, which is like, Paula Abdul, you're going to judge me. But when it comes to something like this is exactly, I mean, Paula is not the world's greatest vocalist. Simply, that is the case. And so when there's a Kelly Clarkson coming out of your show, it's just weird. But Paula Abdul is a top tier performer. Because performance is much more than just singing. We have allowed many people who don't sing well at all on stages because there's more to it than that. Doesn't mean your songs aren't great if you are not the best vocalist of all time. And particularly, there are phenomenal vocalists who have to stand there because they cannot move their bodies. They are incredible singers, but they cannot give you literally anything. They can't even just give you handography. Yeah. So Paula's doing great. Paula's phenomenal.
Paula's doing fantastic. Hilary Duff wishes.
Perfect example.
Wow, what a reference from So Yesterday.
So it was great to have her there. She would be a fantastic recurring judge. I mean, I thought this was going to be fluff, but she got up there and physically showed a girl how to bevel. That's incredible. Brooke Lynn wouldn't do that. If Paula had not been there that night, Brooke Lynn wouldn't have helped. No. I love Brooke Lynn. She's great, but this is pretty awesome. Paula was awesome. Made a really good energy even better. Yeah, and I have to give Canada a really big, thank you, because this is something we talked about. I can't even remember when at this point, but runway prompts are rough these days. Certainly this week's UK prompt I felt was really rough. And we'll talk about that in a second, but more is more. Perfect prompts, maximalism. And then people really got to live into that in a way that showed the diversity that we were talking about. Some people really went maximalist. Like, there's going to be a lot of stuff on me. Things are going to be big. There's going to be, a production of some kind. One girl who had the simplest look, Paolo, who thought maximally. She thought biblically accurate angel, which is about as insane as you can get, but the look was pretty minimal. So we had this diversity of ideas that when the prompts are like they are a lot of the time these days, it does not give the girls airplane metaphor runway to take off. So when they are on this runway, it's just sort of like, I'm glad she had some idea for how to deal with microwave dance party from the 70s that never happened. What are we doing with that? I have nothing, but this was a great prompt. More is more. Fantastic. And I loved everybody's look. I can see how you could argue that somebody like Paula kind of failed the prompt, because I do think it's stunningly gorgeous but minimal. But her idea is maximal, so it's not just a face plant. There's something there. There's something really cool there. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just so digging this season.
When there's that much good art that you can't stop yourself, it's
exactly.
Everybody, right? I'm producing Box. KEVO and I are talking back and forth about what a great episode we're having because of our joy.
Yeah.
I would love to give everybody an opportunity to kind of say some final words on this season that I feel is shaping up beautifully. Before we move over to a season that I feel unfortunately is ending with a whimper and not a bang. I could pound back energy drinks and it still wouldn't have a bang. You know what I mean? I just want to say that the three girls I want in the finale at this moment, which does not mean that they're the three girls, but the three girls I would like to see in the finale are probably Caramilk, Velma, and Saltina. I would like to see Van Goth get an Alaska edit. I would like to see her get a chance to be in multiple seasons to develop this because there's two different ways to be on Drag Race. You either come to win Drag Race or you come to show your art, and they're not always the same thing. And whichever one Van Goth picks, I am here for. I want better for her than what I ultimately think is going to be the standard way they turn on a non-traditional queen. Mm-hmm. And all the judges do tend to turn on the non-traditional queen at some point. And so Van Goth girl, your time is coming. And that is not to say that every one of these other girls doesn't belong there. PM, you are in the running for my casting for Kefka. So like, you just wait. Your time is coming, my dear. But no, this cast is so out of control talented. I'm more excited about this season of Canada than I have been since anybody said gratitude. TK, hit me. Who you vibing?
Van Gogh, I really am. She showed up and showed out. I mean, I said these, like, I give so much credit to Saltina. I don't love TikTok queens. I shouldn't say I don't love TikTok queens. I hold them to a really high standard. Because I think it's not necessarily smart to cross over like this. And if you're going to, you better be prepared to cross over. Long story. If you're gonna do it, you need to really you need to prove to me that this was a good idea and not just another way to get more people onto your TikTok. And she has more than done that. I'm very excited to see where we go from here. I think she's great. I want to give a big shout out to Maya Fox, Indigenous queen, who is also from my neck of the woods. As I told Tori, who asked if Paolo was my favorite of the boys. Paolo, I can admit, is objectively the most beautiful person. It's like a plastique situation going on here. I don't know what to do with the boy or the girl, but Maya is probably the first one I would walk directly to and ask on a date. And just, busy episode, lots going on. Didn't quite get as much time to shine. Just means I'm super stoked to get to the episodes where she does. Her verse was still great. And yeah, Nova Scotia, my neighbors to the north, I love them very much. And then I could just go on about everybody. Dulce, phenomenal. Love that we have a Mexican queen. And love that she brought her language into it and didn't shy away from that, as I think sometimes is the instinct on Drag Race, because a lot of times there's this feeling of, you want to be as accessible as possible and balance that with bringing your heritage into it. I go on and on. Kara Milk was phenomenal. Velma, obviously, I think we have such high standards for, and she's meeting them at all times. Also, queen close to our age. God love you.
Finally.
Thank you so much for being geriatric. We love you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you at the home later. We'll all have our replaced hips. Clack-a-lackin'.
We all had that hat in middle school too.
Rona, you're older than more than half of these kids now too.
Just virtual insanity with Velma.
And I'm like, oh, you know what? These youngins. I used to be the youngin. I used to identify with the young 20-year-olds, and now I'm like, no, I want them. I want like the late 20s. I want the early 30s. Give me the late. Give me older queens.
Mm-hmm. I'm at the point now where I don't want to pick favorites until I'm 5 or 6 episodes deep. I'm not ready to get my heart broken so easily again so recently. But I'm so dazzled by each and every one of these queens. I'm so excited to see what PM's gonna bring. I love the confessionals are like all really good across the board. Star Doll is bringing some insane energy that I am deeply in love with. It's not annoying little kid. It's actual like pure excitement in a furry yellow coat. So yeah. I'm just in love with it. I was already following Saltina Shaker, so of course she's gonna be up there for me. I'm affiliated with Velma Jones's style, so obviously. I think Hazel is so interesting. Became more interesting from the entrance for me. Agreed. And the way she was so invested in all of the queens. I'm very interested to see what's up with her. She's a little bit of my question mark, just because I feel like I haven't seen enough yet. So I'm very, very excited for all of these. I think Ebony doing so well this episode, I think is so great. I think she has just the most darling little personality, and she's like a little firecracker under there. And I was a little worried that she would be quieter, but she is just coming guns a-blazing. And I'm super amped for that.
I also just want to say in that still that Hazel looks like a hot young Jim Carrey. And for those of you who don't know, I'm so
Yes.
attracted to Jim Carrey. And
join the club. Join the
That's
club.
what I was going to say. In drag, I keep saying she looks like Trinity, but out of drag, she looks like Jim Carrey. And not to say that she's unpretty, but I kind of get more Parker Posey vibes from Paulo.
I get Michael Hutchins. So thank you, TK.
God damn it.
But yeah, they're all really cute out of drag. It's true.
They are. No, this cast is absolutely, everybody's getting favorited and whooped back.
Tens.
Speaking of tens, Jonah, I'm so excited to get your top 3 girls, and I feel like it would be unfair to pick Sammy Landry because I already know you love Morgan. I'm just gonna keep saying it because it is one of the most uncanny resemblances I've ever seen. It's not to say that Sammy isn't 1000% original. It's to say that like there's other people that look like me. Yes, there are other Greek men, so like, it just could happen. Jonah, who are your lead 3 ladies?
For me, my money, everything. I kind of have to say, oh, I love all of you so much. It's not even fair. You're making me pick my favorite children here. I'm going with Velma Jones Van Gogh, Ebony LaBelle.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love how you kept it short, sweet, and to the point. Last but not least, Kevo, hit me. Do you have a 3 lead girls? And if not, I will let you just say how we feel about UK.
I'm more in Tori's boat where I don't want to, not even just to not get my heart broken, but as a betting man, I don't want to project anything, especially we haven't now really gotten the harder side of these judges' judgments based on no one going home. So we're not really sure how they're going to be leaning. We're not really sure how that's going to go this season. So I love that everyone got to stay. I like, more time with the girls, but now it's going to be anybody's bet. So yeah, it's a really great group, and it'll be easier to start to wonder who might make it to the top after a few more weeks. So get back to me.
Well, I love that. I can't wait to get back to you because we're going to be following this season so closely. We're going to be on it like a joke here. But speaking of where the joke didn't land, UK this last 2 weeks was really tough for me. I just want to start with, like, I know that it can be really hard when you have a favorite girl and she doesn't get the love you want. Obviously, this whole show, we have been saying that there were some girls that were in the lead for us. Sally, Bonnie, for me, Tayris, and everybody Tayris, but like I'm specifically sort of mad about where we're at because it is not that I don't think that the girls that are left are anything less than beautiful, talented, and cultivated from an incredible array of diverse talents. But there is something about where I feel we're at with the final 4 girls where I feel like Elle is the only girl who doesn't fit kind of... No, because Elle and Katrin even both have that same funny stage girl vibe. And
they're both like fun, campy, theatrical-ish queens, but
Yeah.
Elle has a fashion underlining her.
And I feel like Bones and Celexa are kind of in that same comparative, except maybe Celexa is a little bit more the model and Bones is a little bit more the cack.
Mhm.
And so, like, I also felt, I don't know, I felt really let down by the unfair handling of talent here. Every now and then you think to yourself, how did that girl not make it? Why did that girl not go further? And I don't think that Rue had it out for any girl. That's never what I'm saying. I don't believe that RuPaul has malice in her body because I think when RuPaul doesn't like you, she forgets you exist. I think that she had favorites and she spoke to them and they spoke to her. There was something in the I mean, like, fruity over celebration of some of these girls where, like, as soon as they would get up there, I would think they were not in the right look, not a bad look, just not the right look. And the first thing out of every judge's mouth would be, you look better than anyone has ever looked in the history of the world. I'm going to gouge my eyes out so you're the last thing I see. I'm going to go do a bunch of ketamine to make this even better. Like, there was something nutty about the surrender to you have to agree with us or you're wrong about some of these girls. It was kind of how I felt that year that Game of Thrones got like B- across the board critically and then won every Emmy. I understand the talent. I understand the capability. Nobody is saying Game of Thrones isn't an award-winning TV show, but I'm saying that there is a point where you're gilding the lily to the point where the lily is now hideous. And like, there was a favoritism and a pervasive disinterest in the non-favorites that the overall production on this season gave me. I just wanted better for even the girls that are still in the end because their edit wasn't fair to them either.
Yeah, I mean, I think you put it pretty perfectly. Like, it just, who knows what's going to happen. I mean, I think based on track record, we're really looking at a top 3. I love Katrin. Again, she's one who I think I will end up. I imagine she'll come to America at some point. And like she would be work the world, anything. I would love to see her on stage. But she hasn't won any, and unfortunately 2 of the big ones where we thought she would do really well, she didn't do that great. So it's just not the best track record. So we're really looking at Elle, Celexa, and Bones. And Elle and Celexa have gotten a bunch of great critiques. For a while, it really felt like Elle was in the running. I still technically think she is, but it's just felt like the Bones show for a hot minute. And like, not in I'm sick of being at the Sasha Colby meet and greet, in like the producers were like, we'll change the name of this season to the Bones Show, and we will edit it and like work accordingly. So that's the thing. Bones deserves all of her wins and did fantastically well, but we've just moved to a place where the things that Bones has no control over, besides her own performance, like how the judges speak and how the show is cut. And Nico, you're absolutely right. Like, it just has felt like favoritism, but not in a way not like the thing that people were complaining about with Ginger Minge literally being the favorite for that season. Like in ways where it felt like maybe sometimes the challenges and the lip syncs were pointing towards her. This just feels like they're editing the show and like speaking in favor of her. She's doing great. She doesn't need the help, but it seems like they're so afraid that one slip of somebody else doing well and we'll all doubt that Bones deserves to be there. I don't know what the thinking is here, but it's really over the top for somebody who just is naturally doing well.
Yeah, I feel like I agree. I think we've been led somewhere that we would have gone anyway. And it's a little bit, that's kind of why it feels like Ginger Minge. But I think the way that we were led was past a lot of really great options. You can tell me there's creme brulee at the end of the hallway and we're going towards there and I'll be amped. But if you're taking me past 30 other desserts, you cannot blame me for wanting to be like, hold on. I just want to look at that one for a little longer. I know we're going somewhere great, but hold on. This one's really caught my eye. And I think that's the difference. That's the vibe that I think the audience has kind of been picking up on, is that we are being led on a pansy path that we are not all ready to run down. We're ready to slowly waltz down. And so I think Bones has been quite excellent. I agree. I think she is doing really well in spite of. And I think that I'll be interested to see how when she wins, because I know that Drag Race kind of prefers a bombastic personality to win. The quiet ones don't sometimes get pushed to the side a little bit. And so it's very interesting to have someone who is very obviously not as good at holding a crowd when speaking and kind of influencing everyone at the same time, hosting a show, that kind of thing, is not exactly in her wheelhouse. And so it's very fascinating to me to see them kind of be like, no, I think we're going to go with this one because I think she's fantastic and she's crushing. But it's very interesting when they choose a non like spokesperson-y person to fill the role.
Jonah, hit us.
I am just the word I'm going to use is confused about this season because I am just confused as to where the direction they want to take it. They spent so much time focusing on the people like Sally, Paige, and Bonnie, who I think had interesting stories, that they then eliminated these three incredible queens back to back to back. And now it feels like we're struggling to pick up the pieces of a storyline and a narrative where the people and a lot of the plot is now on other people. And there's nothing wrong with that. But as a show and as a produced show, you need to give us a storyline and a story that makes sense. A lot of it doesn't make sense because you took away people you are projecting as your protagonists. If you're reading Lord of the Rings and you know that it's from the perspective of Frodo and Bilbo Baggins and blah, 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 all this, and then it immediately cuts to Gandalf. And then it's just the entire story comes about Gandalf. You're like, wait, what the fuck happened? How did we get here? And so they spent a lot of time kind of, I think, hyping up certain people. And they kind of forgot, like, oh, if we're doing that, we're going to be missing out on these other beautiful talents that are here. I don't know how to feel about a lot of it because I do feel a lot is being geared for Bones to win. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think she's an incredible queen, but I can tell she's someone, and she's talked about it, someone who has anxiety and a lot of kind of low keyness. She's a little more reserved about things. And so to see someone like that win would be great, but I don't know if all of Bones' amazing talents and where her ability to shine as a performer comes out have been fully showcased to the best of her ability. I wish they would have geared things more towards her if they were leaning towards her as a viable winner. It's a season where I feel like a lot of the heart was removed midway and we're kind of just left like scratching our heads of what to do, and it feels like they're scrambling. I am so bizarred out that they eliminated the funniest person they had in the cast with Bonnie the week before they did a roast. It wasn't even a bad roast. It was a little rare, if you will. It felt like because these people don't really live and breathe with comedy, they struggled a little bit. I think Bones won, absolutely. I thought Bones had the best set, but there was just inconsistencies with the way the judges were going about things. So, Bones got 30 extra seconds, which is not her fault. It's not that she got extra 30 seconds. They showcased 30 seconds more of Bones. It's okay.
Did you notice that and go back and time it?
Yes.
I mean, they had to do the dramatic pause.
Yeah, well, yes. And it's like, there was like weird inconsistencies with judging, which one aren't there, but it was a problem. It was fine that Bones did a callback to Liam Gallagher, but it was a problem that Katrin did Bonnie again. Mm-hmm. And it's fine that Bones took a moment to kind of collect herself and get through things, but it was a problem when other people kind of did something. So it was just really weird. Well,
because the Bonnie Tyler isn't funny.
Well, but the Liam Gallagher wasn't either.
I know. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's important to note it's not that the girls that made it are untalented. It's not that we haven't loved what they've given. It's just that I feel like our top four is not the good kind of surprise. I really, nothing against her, but I have every week been like, which one is Elle Voss again? Oh, right. This one, she made it to the top 4. It really reminds me of the one season of Big Brother that I ever watched was the one with the horrible racist. And the person who makes it to the final is like this same sort of generic, unassuming ginger, where I was like, again, she's beautiful, she's fun, she's talented, but she isn't somebody who's really stood out to me the way that other people you're mentioning, you know, Bonnie for her comedy. Gonna give Nyan Bella a million shout outs because we loved her so much. But, you know, so many of these queens really stood out so much more. Like, and you know, Katrin and Sexarella really stood out in their own ways, but it's not quite what we would have projected from the beginning of this season. And I'm not sure how to feel about it.
And I just want to vibe on that because I caught you saying, you know, generic this thing. And like, as a generic gay bear, hi, I make bear face, you know, like there's not, you know, I feel like I'm a unique, beautiful snowflake. But if you edit me badly, because I'm so tired of, you can't blame the edit. Yes, you can. If you take away all of my funniest jokes and you leave me with like, there was this thing when I was in school that I had a writing professor that said, I should be able to know exactly which character I am reading from any line of dialogue. I should never wonder. And I was like, so you think that in a script of 20 people, everyone should have a unique way of saying hello? Every line of dialogue. You really believe that? And you can't. And if you do, there's something wrong with you because truly you are putting too high a burden of everyone being unique on everything. And some of these girls are put in a position where they're asked to say something and they reply. And when editorial uses that, when production uses that, you're losing what makes the girl herself and you're getting the line. Because I'm going to be honest, I know a lot of drag queens and I know them personally. And a lot of the things these girls say on these shows are their most intense self for the most mimetic quality. They're not out here saying who they really are on TV. Because you know what? If I were really me on TV, I would be eating peanut butter, playing Final Fantasy in a pair of boxer briefs. And that would be literally what I want the world to see. But I know that that's not the show. And so these girls, they're out here giving their best selves and they're showing who they are. But they know they have to give those lines. They have to give that moment. And like, girls like Elle were treated like, oh, well, you're the Irish queen. That's enough. We're done. Girls like Sally were treated like, well, you're the art queen. That's enough. You're done. And there is a point to which these girls were boiled down to these elements that are not who they are. They're not a whole person. And that is not that the girl isn't a whole person. It's what you're showcasing isn't. And I'm tired of being asked to root for the girl you edited horribly, but you as the producer and Rue as the judge has seen all the best moments. So they're voting and rating and judging on the best version of these girls, and that's not what I'm seeing. So please stop asking me to agree with you when what you're showing is less than who these girls really are.
I have a question for people who watch reality TV more than me. Is it important for the audience to agree with the judgment?
Or I stop watching the show and see why I haven't seen a season of Big Brother in 7 or 8 years because I'm tired of being told that person's brilliant. No, they're not. They're just mean and ugly.
Right. But is that a you thing or is that like an everybody thing? Because I know we're special.
I mean, it's an everybody thing because that's how shows like Survivor have had ups and downs and shows like Big Brother have had ups and downs. That's what a dip in ratings is, where you have to go back to the basics, or we wouldn't have I'm back to the basics.
I think they can trick you, and good editing that isn't obvious and smart show production that leads to the editing, you cannot realize how bad they're doing it, and the show can keep its audience and do well. But Drag Race, they're not subtle. And I mean, like all the way back to the first point, and he goes like, yeah, you absolutely can blame the edit. Drag Race does the thing of you hear the girl say she's a fat bitch, but it's just the words, and then the camera is cut to somebody else, and lo and behold, that girl goes to Roscoe's and says, oh yeah, I was telling a story about my sister in the 90s, and I said she's a fat bitch, and they had that line, and then it got cut into an argument. It's so not subtle with Drag Race that part of me wants to believe they're leaving breadcrumbs, but I also know that audiences aren't sitting there being sophisticated. So it leaves us in this crazy place, but Drag Race is so intent on going whatever direction it goes. And it just feels like not every arm of production follows along. So the editing often is not keeping up and being subtle. And we just get these like sort of hammered in moments or just inconsistencies. There's also the problem, which is the thing I talk about all the time, which is like, we all watch so much of this. I think we want to feel like we know what the rules are. We know what the rubric is. And we have at least enough experience being viewers of this show that we can say, we can even say things like, oh, I know Rue likes that, so that's going to do well on the runway. And then when that thing that Rue likes comes down the runway, but the girl is just someone we know is going home because she's not going to be the winner, and Rue starts saying, oh, I don't like this dress that I've said a million times I love when a girl does, or I don't like that joke that I've laughed at a million times, and then that's when the girl's in the bottom. It just feels like, no, I know you like these things. No, I know that you have said that you're looking for this and that drag queens need to have this element. And now you're saying it's not important. It doesn't matter. You don't think that's funny. And I'm annoyed that I'm trying to learn here and like grow my own understanding of this art form. And I'm looking to my elders to sort of point me towards stuff. And instead what I'm getting is reality TV bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't necessarily think we have to agree with the judges every single episode, because part of the problem is, as with all art is going to have different interpretations, and everyone's going to have different things that they like. We're not here to yuck anybody's yum, but certain people are into certain forms of comedy and other forms of entertainment that maybe we're not into, and so different things are going to resonate with different people. So it doesn't necessarily have to always be we have to one for one agree with the judges. There have been plenty of performances that I've loved that judges kind of glossed over, and there's plenty of performances that the judges loved that I didn't quite as find as engaging as they did. Overall, part of it is they are crafting a story and a narrative. The problem becomes if the judging becomes suspicious and doesn't make sense, you can't say somebody who the rest of us who have eyes, oh, this person feels like they did bad, like we're seeing we didn't enjoy it, nobody else seemed to be enjoying it, but then they win a challenge or someone says that or Rue says they're great, we call into question, okay, but that's weird. You have to make things believable, in this story. It has to make sense. Your plot has to follow through. If things start, like, I'm going to use an egregious example. If Utica won season 13 Snatch Game, we would all be scratching our heads. Mm. I love Utica, but it was not a good Snatch Game performance. But if Rue was like, I laughed so much, which we can see that she didn't, but I laughed so much, blah, 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 and they even tried to edit it in a certain way, it still wasn't good, and it still wasn't what they should have done, should have been rewarded with a win. Everything has to make sense, and when they start gearing things, and when we call it that production isn't quite doing their job of being invisible, is when I think a lot of the problems start to arise.
Oh, Kevo, you're on mute. Try again for me.
And I think the word that I would also use is consistency. I love you. So quickly going to plug our Project Runway Season 21 coverage. Go check that out. But something we talk about a lot is that we don't always agree with what the judges say on Project Runway, because fashion is a really wild industry, and we understand that they are at an executive level. So even if we don't agree with what they are saying, we understand they know a heck of a lot better than we do. But we also try to call them on consistency. And when you call one designer out on something and not another, whether we know what you're talking about with fashion, it's not treating all contestants the same. And I think that's something that we are also, that we tend to scrutinize the judgment on these shows. It's whether or not you're treating all girls the same way in your judgments.
And
Right.
I just want to say, I don't think I know a heck of a lot more about this show than Tori by any means. And so, like, if I came in a little hot, I'm absolutely here to pour water on myself, flash dance style. But, the thing that I feel very strongly about is we know when you tell us who a villain is, and we know when you tell us who a hero is. And there is a lot of uneven treatment of these girls where, like, I think what I miss a little bit is a good villain. I want to hate a villain. I love hating Mistress. I'm never going to make a joke. I'll make a joke because I've also gone on a weight loss journey. And so, like, proud of Mistress for making a decision to give her knees a break. But, like, I did the same thing for my lower back. Like, I'm really proud of her for that. But I'm going to come for the fact that she's a venomous snake. She's cold-hearted snake. And I kind of did not appreciate that the only real villain on this season was how the judges talked about these girls when they weren't there. I wanted a real villain, and like telling me that Bones is better than everybody else when right now she looks like she's dressed in kale is not the moment. Like, I actually think she looks beautiful in this, but I think it's hideous. And I think that they're like, she's so beautiful. It looks fucking horrible. Like, and I understand that maybe I'm not there and I don't understand. I think she looks beautiful. She's beat for the gods. But like, I think that outfit is a nightmare. I even said to the boys that I loved pieces of it so much that I want to interpolate them into one of my cosplays. I love the bugs flying around her. I think it's such an incredible idea. But the decisions here, the cut of it here is something I've seen Bones in 4 times this season. Why didn't she get called out like Paige got called out? I feel like Celexa wore the same shape with a different trick on it every time. I got to be honest, I'm not that impressed by doing a different trick on the same shape every time. This time it had a big staff. Last time it had a big hanger, but it's always the same cut. It's always the same idea. And this one even has big hair too. Like, why do some girls get A+ for giving me the same thing and some girls get told, no, I just don't like you? Like, that is where I felt a little hot. It was certainly not with Tori, and I just want to be clear with everybody.
No hotness felt here.
Good, I think you are the hotness.
I think it's one of those things where we both have a lot of issues with the way that the judgment is done, and yours is more about forcing girls to go through this process and do challenges and expect them to be excellent at something they've never done before and are not built to do. And
that's correct.
And that's what upsets you. What upsets me is that I feel like these girls aren't set up for success with the way that the show is created. I feel like production is not interested in showcasing the girls to the best of their ability, which I find fascinating because I think ratings are great in the short term, getting crazy ratings because of crazy fights and all of the editing and making it all magic and whatever. Great. If it gets so far as to hurting the queens, you're suddenly now pulling away money from any tours or any appearances that they do for you as part of the production. And so what are we doing? Like, what are we elevating? What are we doing? And I think that this season, last season we talked in UK, it's a little bit, UK 6 is a lot like Canada 6 in that it feels like casting went out and said, we're picking one from each genre of drag that we have here in the UK, and that's what we're doing. And they got 12 of them, and we got some real wonderful magic out of it. And I feel like they wanted to do that again, but didn't follow through. And just went, well, what if instead of having one fashion girly, we had 2 fashion girlies, but one of them wears tits all the time and one of them does this? And it's like, let's find the nuance and like pair people up that way. And it sort of isn't working, or it's pitting people against each other in a way that doesn't feel good to us.
I'm with that. You know, what does feel good to me is all 4 finalists are unreasonably talented. In fact, the top 8 were unreasonably talented. I really hate that it sometimes feels like if you choose to have a relationship with someone on this show, it's going to automatically become a weapon against you. So you better not fall for somebody as talented as you. What an ugly thing to do. Tayris, you were my winner. I've been saying it for weeks. I thought it was going to be you versus Paige. I'm heartbroken.
that you're not here in the finale. You and Paige really were my season this year. I'm rooting for Elle because as a vocalist, I simp for vocalists. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need you to be able to dance. I don't need you to be able to write songs, but fuck, if you can belt me something real good, belt me. You know what I mean? I'm giving it to Elle, but I will not be disappointed by any winner this season. There is no one here who doesn't deserve to be on this stage. And just for the record, I love Kale. Right. So I wasn't trying to tell you, Bones, that you are undelicious. You are absolutely smoking in every way. The only mistake you made that I think was kind of like was that Liam Gallagher impression. It was absolutely, definitely, maybe bad. That was an Oasis joke. And I really wonder if she would get it is my problem. Anyway, everybody hit me. Who's your winner? And then we're gonna move this thing along.
I mean, my winner's Bones because I do think Bones is doing the best, and I'm fine with that. I like Bones. Bones is great. That's what I'm saying. That's what the whole thing was. Like, we were gonna get there on our own, as Tori pointed out. Like, let's go. And if we stop along the way and say, "Oh wow, Celexa had a great episode. Tayris had a great episode. Katrin can have one badge as a treat." That would have been fine. Bones still would have done phenomenally the whole time. And would be a really appropriate winner. I hope she does win. I think she's great. But yeah, I mean, Tayris was somebody who I enjoyed the entire season. And while I do feel I'm happy she stayed as long as she did because I wanted her there and I really liked her presence. There are a few other times she could have gone home to spare us the indignity of a Tayris versus Katrin lip sync. We gotcha.
Less.
And so I wouldn't have wanted her to go, but I also didn't like this. This was icky to me. And I really like Katrin too. I was hard on Katrin when it started, when the show started, but she really charmed me. And again, I don't like that she was a part of that either. Katrin maybe could have gone home last week. And again, not that I didn't want her to stay another week. I know that every queen wants to go as far as they can, but I also, I'm here for their long-term dignity as well. And I just, ugly. But being fifth out is a phenomenal way to go. Some of our bests are fifth out. Again, Tayris is one I'm going to be looking for everywhere. I'm glad that Drag Race introduced me to her, but I don't need her to do anything else with Drag Race to know that she's just awesome. And I'm so excited to keep following her. And yes, to King Matt, I was so excited to see Nyong Bella back for just a little bit, and she looks so good. And I loved her big hands. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Tayris's reaction broke my heart this week. It was very devastating. It felt to me a little aggressive of the editing that they really were like, let's watch this woman's life fall apart. Like, it was a lot. And I'm just really enjoyed what she brought and what she gave, and I think she has everything to be proud of. I think all of these girls have everything to be proud of. They all really, even if they went out on a low, they had a good high. They had all kinds of things. And so I think this is going to be, we're going to get where we're getting. I think we're going to come down to a top two of, my guess is Bones versus Elle. So I'm okay with either. I think Elle's my last. I want to see someone not in the UK win. So I'll hold on to that one. And Katrin also doing great. Thanks, Wales. But so yeah, I think it's, I feel like we're heading towards another formality finale, and that's unfortunate.
Oh my God, that's the name of my next miniseries. Oh my God, talk about
welcome to the stage,
earworms.
Formality finale.
Oh my God. But not a formality in any least. Jonah, who you vibing and how you feeling?
For me, my money, who I would love to see win. I would love to see Elle win. I think she, at such a young age, is so insanely talented. Her makeup is incredible. Her looks are incredible. Like I am in awe of this 22-year-old who like fully has this down pat so well. Like that's so. It's just so incredible and endearing and amazing to see this. Like it's just really cool. And I would love to see her win. If Bones wins, I'm not gonna be mad about it. What I will say this week. What I will say about Bones. Bones is some of my favorite makeup I've ever seen. My God, I think she has a stunning mug. It's like beautiful. And I really wish that they gave her more to showcase like the girl that she is. I would feel way better about this season if we were going towards this ending having uplifted this queen to make us feel a little bit better about her being the winner. I feel bad saying this. I really didn't like this lip sync this week because regardless of which one was going to make it to the finale, I don't think either one of them are going to win unless they do something completely out of, blow us out of the water with a finale performance. But there's only been, in my research and understanding across all Drag Race franchises, 2 Drag Race winners who've never won a challenge. And I don't think and they've never been a Rue season, and I don't think it's going to start now on UK7 on any Rue season. I don't think any season hosted by Rue will ever have a winner who's never won a challenge. Yeah. And so this kind of broke my heart, especially because I could tell this is where they were trying to go with this. When they find out that they're kind of smitten with one another, they want to they kind of get together, all of that. So we'll see what happens.
KEVO.
I want to even say, I know I made my little comment earlier about who is this woman, but frankly, if she wins, I bear no ill will. Like I said, the thing about this season is it has been an incredibly talented group of girls. It's just, I don't know, the way it was produced, both in terms of production and storytelling, has just been so strange. But all 3 of these finalists are really great, so I would really be cool with any of them. I think Alexa's head might explode if it's her, so that would be pretty funny. But yeah, no, it's been a really good season, and I am so annoyed at the Brits for putting the finale on Thanksgiving Day, but we are going to get to our finale coverage as fast as we can around a busy holiday weekend, and you can find me in the meantime at KEVO Really. That's KEVO REALLY.
Jonah, but how about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me online at Peak Jonah.
Tori.
You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
You can find me on the socials at TK Accidental.
I didn't even say your name, TK. How did you know?
I know. I was ready to go.
Oh, well, speaking...
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's
me.
Speaking of good to go, I just want to give it up for, we did Drag Queen Christmas presented by Peter and Murray. Amazing show. My second year getting to see Nina West MC a Christmas show. Literally one of the best queens I've ever gotten to see. The way she works a crowd is like none other. And speaking of the way she works a crowd, there might have been a guy finger snapping right at Nina's face, really, and she is tall. So it led to a pretty amazing moment for us. KEVO, would you cue the video for everybody real quick?
Oh, was someone an audience participant?
Jonah in the whale. Jonah in the whale. Go to hell. Life just does this to me. Nice to meet you, Jonah. I'm the whale.
Jonah, what did you get to do? Who did you get to introduce?
I may have gotten to introduce Bosco to the stage, but the wonderful Nina West choosing me out of the crowd, and I got to give a warm, beautiful welcome to Bosco's first number for the Drag Queen Christmas tour.
I just want to say, getting to see Bosco do a genuine real-to-life burlesque to smooth operator, life-changing. Getting to see my absolute like super queen Shea Coulee sing the Christmas song live. Like, I don't want to cry on air, so I'm just gonna cut it here. NICO Action, NICO ACTION. What an unbelievable experience. Nobody miss it if you can help it. We saw it last year, just as good. We saw it this year, amazing. So many incredible, talented queens that we've gotten to talk about this episode, that we got to see live. It is so special getting to be part of this community. Thank you all so much. But don't just support national drag tours. Support local drag. Support your draggiest friend. If you've got a friend who's like, sometimes I like to wear makeup, be like, bitch, I've got singles. Immediately get on it. Make every queen feel as beautiful as she is. Never stop supporting this art form, because every form of it is so important. Come see my Drag King show. I'm real good. Speaking of real good, we think you're real good. So we need you guys to do us a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, we can't follow you back. But then when we go to follow you back, we want to see three things. Number one, we want to see you stay safe, because it is a spooky, scary world out there in the winter. Number two, we want to see you be brave, because who you are in this marshmallow world, it really matters. Tori, that was just for you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. But number three, we want to see you evolve daily, because who you were yesterday, amazing. Who you are today, but who you are tomorrow, that's the real A. And so until we come back to Opa, we're going to see you guys.
Bye.
And one more thing. What was it?
What'd you say? Go Birds!
Go Birds!
I didn't realize what a controversial thing that would be. I had to get down on the ground.